Okay, guys, so here is 1.5. These are the template problems for 1.5, 1C, and 1D. Okay, 1.5, 1C, and 1D, these problems right here. So it says the following tables describe arithmetic sequences, and it says what is the common difference of the sequence A sub m. So A sub m deals with this table of values right here. So the common difference is basically just the difference between the terms. So 16 minus 11 is going to give me 105. 105 minus 11 is going to give me 94. So minus 11 is my common difference. All right, that's the constant change. So common difference is negative 11. All right, so what is A sub 10? So A sub 10, which means basically what they're asking you is what is the 10th term within this sequence? So there's a couple ways that I can do this, but I want to get used to doing this by using the formula. I could continue to just subtract 11 from the term that's previous to that. So I could subtract 11 from 94, whatever that number is. I subtract 11 again. That would give me my 8th term, and then my 9th term. Then my 10th term would be after that. And that may be an easy way of doing it, an easy way of remembering it. But when the problem comes when you have a big sequence and you're asked to find the 20th term, okay, that's going to take a long time. So what we have to do is we have to use some sequence notation and plug it in and do these practice problems. These are template problems. These are just like those problems that you're going to see on 1.5, 1C, and 1D, but they're not the same thing. Okay, so they're very similar though. All right, so A sub 10 equals, I need to find a term that I know. Okay, so a term that I know, I'm just going to look up here, and I know that the 7th term is 94. Okay, so I'm going to write 94 right in here. So my 7th term is 94. And then what I have to do within this formula is I have to add to it the common difference. Well, when I add a negative number, when I add a negative 11, I just subtract 11. So I'm going to say 94 minus 11. And then what we had done in A and B was understood that, hey, if I know how many times I have to add that term to get to the 10th term there, then all I have to do is multiply that common difference by that number of times, right? So 10 minus 7 gives me 3. Where does that 10 come from? 10 comes from the 10th term. That's the term that I want to know. And 7 comes from the term that I know. So I take the term that I want to know, and this is the sequence number, okay? This is the sequence number. This is not the value, but it's the sequence number. It's the M. So 10 minus 7 gives me 3. And then when I do the math on this, I have to multiply first. I go negative 11 times 3, which gives me 33. And I subtract that from 94, and I get 61. All right, so moving on over to A sub 13. So I'm going to do the same thing for A sub 13. And it doesn't matter which term I use, okay? I just have to find one term that I know. If I find one term that I know and I know what the common difference is, then I can find any of the other terms. Okay, so I'm going to try and find A sub 13. So A sub 13 is going to equal, well, I know 61, right? I found that the 10th term is 61. So I'm going to put 61 here, and then just like I did over here, I'm going to subtract 11. And now I have to find the number of times that I have to subtract 11, okay? So when I subtract 11, the number of times that I subtract 11 comes from 13 minus the 10th term, okay? So 13 minus the 10th term. That's how I get the 3 there, right? So the 13th term is what I want to know. The 61 comes from the 10th term here. So I say 13